Do you love breakdowns? Do you need stats? Do you crave insight? Download the AllStar app. UFC, Bellator, PFL 1 Championship, and more. Ad-free, fully customizable. Download the best app in the business. Link in descriptions. Edwards and Usman in the UK, most likely next year. What do you see in this fight, man? Edwards, he had a home run of a performance in that third fight.
Yeah.
Do you see Usman being different in this third fight, or do you see something Edwards like expose something, like he saw something in Usman that he could take advantage of again?
I mean, I think Edwards was able to find an opening, and he kept going back to it. Like maybe it was a little bit, something small, and he tried to keep going back to it, keep trying to open it up, making a bigger opening. And I think ultimately, the fight, there's, whatever things are going on in the fight and everything you're pushing through, whatever's happened on, through camp or whatever, you got to push through it. And, he was able to make the opening, big enough to where he was able to capitalize on it. So, I mean, congrats to him. Yeah. I haven't, I believe everybody had Usman, running away with it kind of thing. So, but I definitely believe that, it was setting up, as much as possible through the fight. And the opening got big enough and the timing was just enough where like, man, it's time to go for it kind of thing. I don't know, but I think he did good. I think Usman will make adjustments. I think Usman also was maybe, he's had so many, title fights and defenses and stuff, and maybe he just kind of got a little casual with it. Like I'm winning. I'm going to try to, beat him more and try to put him away or whatever. But at the same time, I don't need to rush anything. So maybe he's just kind of taking his time, not as sharp. I don't know. It's tough to say in those situations. You never know. Me being the fighter saying that, I feel like a dick because, he's probably just like focuses all hell, it's his title on the line. So, but yeah, man, I think he'll be even sharper than ever. And I think he'll mix it up a lot more. Honestly, I have Usman coming out on top in the rematch. I think he's just going to come out a lot sharper, a lot more focused, and leave no room for error.
The second fight, they were at elevation. And you kind of see that come into effect in the second, third, fourth rounds where Edwards just looked gassed and Usman looked fresh.
Okay.
And
yeah.
They won't be fighting at elevation in the third fight. They'll be fighting in the UK, which could be a factor as well, right? Like we don't know Edwards at full strength, right? He might have been compromised in those rounds, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've totally forgot about that. And then Usman trains at elevation, so he's used to that. So I think that's definitely something to look into and a key factor going into the third fight.
And what about the psychological effects of getting knocked out like that? He was knocked out cold and didn't even wake up, I believe, until he got to the ambulance or at the hospital or something. That's scary.
Yeah. And the thing is like, he's up and whatever, but moving around and you're probably talking or whatever, but yeah, he didn't really like come to until the ambulance ride is like, is what I believe I heard in like some interview or something. Yeah. But the interview I saw, it's good to see that he's taking in good spirits, and being very, okay about it and as positive as you can be about it, right? Yeah. And even giggling about the whole thing, like, man, I woke up and all of a sudden I'm in the ambulance kind of thing. So, yeah, it's definitely a scary thing, but that's what comes with the sport. We put our bodies on the line, we put it all on the line, and knowing that, that's a possibility. I definitely go into fights and is this the guy who's going to do it? That's what is this going to be the guy? I don't think so, but if this is the guy, we'll find out. So, we're ready to go, when we go in there, and I'm sure he is too. And, yeah, I think more so probably for his kid, for his kids and stuff like that is more traumatic, and having to deal with the after effects of the emotions of your kids. That's definitely a hard part. And I can really relate to that.